All right, so we're going to be doing impact of on metal on living system and the environment. Certain metal ions play a vital role to living things while others are extremely harmful. So first we're going to talk about corrosion. Corrosion takes place when the surface of a metal gradually wears away by reacting chemical in the environment, mainly oxygen and water vapor. So in order for corrosion to occur, we need oxygen and we need water vapor. That's what it's saying. So corrosion is wearing away a surface of metal when it reacts with chemical in the environment, which is oxygen and water. Certain pollutants speed up the process. When metal corrodes, it's oxidized to form metal oxide, right? So we have corrosion of aluminum and corrosion of iron. Corrosion of aluminum is called a beneficial corrosion. Beneficial. I can't spell it. B-E.
Benefi.
So it's called corrosion. It's beneficial because when aluminum where see that's what to see when I read. So the corrosion of aluminum is called beneficial corrosion because when aluminum is exposed to air or oxygen, it forms aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide adheres to the surface of the metal. So because it sticks, this means sticks to the surface of the metal and prevents it from flaking off. So what happens is no more aluminum is exposed for corrosion to take place. So it forms, therefore the aluminum oxide protects it from further corrosion, right? And we can corrode aluminum by doing anodizing. So when aluminum reacts with air, it forms aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide sticks to the surface of the metal to prevent it from further corrosion. So that's why we say it's beneficial. Corrosion of iron is detrimental because when iron reacts with oxygen and water, it forms iron 3, hydrated iron 3 oxide, which what it does, it flakes off the surface. So this is rust. So this is iron 3, hydrated iron 3 oxide is rust. So what it does is it does not adhere to the surface. It flakes off. When it flakes off, this exposes fresh iron to oxygen and moisture, and so the rust will continue. So it's detrimental. So the process continues until the entire iron wears away. So the rusting of iron flakes exposes more iron to more environmental factors, so it corrodes and flake off. This continue until the entire iron is damaged. Whereas for aluminum, it forms aluminum oxide, which sticks to the surface of the metal and prevents more aluminum from being exposed. So we have it being beneficial. So in order for rusting to occur, we need to have the following ions present in the water. So in order for rusting to occur, we need to have water present and we need to have oxygen gas present in order for things to rust. So we're going to be looking on a corrosion question right here, right now. So we're going to look on a question from the yellow book, the Antindale workbook for chemistry. One is supposed to have supposed to finish. We should finish all of those questions in the book already.
Miss Joel say, "Woi."
Okay, Joel. All right, what happens when metal corrodes? When metal corrodes, its surface, it does what? So when metal corrodes, its surface is worn away, right? Your parents are building a new house and they ask you if they should make the window frame out of aluminum or iron. What would you advise them and why? Which one?
Aluminum.
Why?
Because the rusting is beneficial.
The aluminum will corrode and form Al2O3, which will stick to the aluminum and prevents it from further corrosion. Why is the corrosion of iron considered to be detrimental? When iron corrodes, what it forms?
Hydrated iron into reactors.
Which what?
Which is rust, and it does not stick to the iron, so it exposes new metal, so it continues to corrode and contain all of the metal um corrode.
It exposes more iron to react with water and O2. So the entire metal will wear away eventually. All right, makes sense? Jamal, investigate conditions needed for iron nails to rust. So here we have tap water. So in order for rusting to occur, we need both water and oxygen to present. So here we just have water. Will rusting occur in A?
None.
So here we have boiling water and we have no, well, maybe little oxygen there. Maybe say rusting occur because we have some amount of air here. So some oxygen is going to be here. So we have water and some O2. There's nothing preventing the O2 from being there. So rusting going to take place in A. In B now, we have oil. Oil prevents oxygen and we have boiling water. So there will be no rusting in B because we only have one other factor, which is the water. C, we have seawater. There's nothing there to remove the air. So what's happening is we're going to have rusting occurring in A and C. And then in D, we only have a drying agent, which is going to prevent water. So we still have oxygen. So rusting is not going to take place in B because no air. Rusting is not going to take place in D because we have no water. So remember, calcium chloride is a drying agent. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the purpose? And the cork prevents air from going in, prevents O2 from entering. Then we have why was the water boiled in B? To remove air. Why was oil placed on top of B? To prevent O2 from entering the boiled water. More water. What is the role of the calcium chloride in D? What we said the role is of calcium chloride in D?
Remove moisture.
To remove H2O. Complete the following table. Rust does not rust. So we say rusting is taking place in A and what? C?
Yes.
Rust. Rust don't rust. Then we have which test tube does JAMA so rust is gonna occur fastest in C where we have the salt water. All right, so we reach here, so now. Give the main role of each of the following metal ions in living things. So we're going back to the notes. The human body requires certain metal atoms in relative large quantity, more than 100 milligram per day. These are known as macronutrients, macrominerals, sorry, and include calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium. Others are known as microminerals or trace minerals, which are needed in smaller quantities. Example, iron, zinc, manganese, cobalt, copper, that word there, selenium, and chromium. Plants also require minerals for healthy growth and development. So here we have, so magnesium is essential for green plants to produce the green pigment chlorophyll found in chloroplast. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight energy so plants can manufacture their own food by photosynthesis. So magnesium needed to make chlorophyll, which plants need to photosynthesize to make food where every single organism depend on directly or indirectly for their food. So that's the importance of magnesium. Shortage of magnesium in plants will cause chlorosis, I don't know, chlorosis, which leaves the plant leaves yellow, right? Magnesium is important in the human body because over 300 biochemical reaction in the human body require magnesium ions because it helps many enzymes to function. So magnesium is important for metabolic or biochemical reactions in the body as it makes enzymes. Same thing for copper. Copper is also needed to make enzymes. So we have iron. Iron is essential for animals to produce red pigment, hemoglobin found in red blood cells. Hemoglobin carries oxygen around the body for cells using respiration to produce energy. Glucose reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water and energy. A shortage of iron leads to anemia, where a number of red blood cells is reduced, causing tiredness and lack of energy. Calcium is essential to produce calcium hydroxyapatite in the bone and teeth of animals. So it builds bone and teeth. A shortage of calcium leads to rickets in children, where legs become bowed, and osteoporosis in adults, where bones become weak and brittle. Zinc is important in the functioning of the immune system for wounds to heal and for growth and repairs of cells and tissue. Sodium and potassium is important for impulses to transmit along nerves and muscle. So it transmits. Sodium and potassium is needed to transmit nerve impulses, and they're also needed to help the muscle contract. I'm tired. All right, so I'm gonna just read question and answer. This is me taking the shortcut to answer these questions, right? Yeah, I am a cheater. Cancel. I am a cheater. So make me cheat. So I can go at lunch and we can end before 1:30. Okay, section C. All right, so we know for a fact that Campbell has already gone through some of these questions and see. Think it further up. All right, so some metals are some metals and their compound are important to living system, whereas others are harmful. Consider aluminum, lead, and iron in their compound. Explain the usefulness of one metal and the harmfulness of one metal. So for the usefulness, we are using iron. Iron makes hemoglobin, which carries oxygen to the cell. Oxygen is used by living organism to respire. So without Fe, we would be weak and tired and perhaps and we can't spell that word or eventually dying. All right, so we have harmful metal, which is lead. Lead damages nervous system and causes low IQ in kids or children. It causes anemia and it damages the kidney. Now, there are other harmful metals which we never really discussed a while ago, but I'm putting it right here. So we have other harmful metal other than lead, and sources of lead are lead acid batteries. Some paints and bricks contain lead, and we have car exhaust from the burning of leaded gasoline. So there are some cars that uses leaded gasoline, their exhaust produces lead. So we have cadmium, which is another heavy metal. It's found in cigarette extractions of metal, burning of fossil fuel, and the effect is weak bones, causing osteoporosis and damages kidney and liver. And then we have mercury. Mercury comes from mercury thermometer, eating large fish, extraction of metals. Causes of effects of mercury on the body, it causes nervous system damage, loss of speech and hearing, numbness in hands and feet. So it's very dangerous. Then we have arsenic. Arsenic comes from the refinery of metal and volcanic eruption. Arsenic causes cancer of the skin and it damages and it changes the thickness of the skin and it also damages the nervous system. So those are some toxic metal. Remember me say me a cheat? This is my last year class. What did it in? All right. Outline the importance of magnesium to plant health. Magnesium makes chlorophyll, which plants need to photosynthesize and make food, right? So that's the importance of magnesium to plant health. Explain how magnesium deficiency can result in a low yield of vegetable. So it yellows the leaf and it prevents the plant from trapping sunlight. Therefore, it reduces the amount of glucose produced, so less food is produced. Two other metal ions which are important to plant growth and a result of their deficiency. So we have calcium, and in the big yellow textbook, we don't use that, we should use the red one. There's another chemistry textbook that provides an entire page of metal and what they're used for. So we have calcium. Calcium causes poor root system. Potassium also causing yellow of the leaf and premature falling of buds. So the buds are fall before they come flowers. Importance of calcium. It develop root tips of plants. Potassium, I'm just doing the opposite. Its importance, right? So it forms carbohydrates and carry away carbohydrates to different parts of the plant. So those are their importance. Other important metals to living things are calcium develops bone and teeth. Then we have proper functioning of enzyme, which speeds up reaction of the body. We use copper for that. Iron, we know we use that to make hemoglobin, which carries oxygen around. Zinc is used to heal wounds and to increase immunity. Then we have sodium and potassium, nerve impulse and muscle contract. So magnesium again is used for plants. So that's where we are. I don't think we have any more like that. All right, we're done. So we're done with that one. Any question?
No.